Welcome to Signature TV News. I am Marie Kumo Ado. In the headlines, Cross River Assembly impeaches Speaker. Anambra lawyers boycott courts over killing and kidnap of colleagues. On a foreign scene, Chad transitional PM resigns to pave way for new government. In sports, US fund Oaktree assumes ownership of Inter Milan. Details in a moment. The Speaker of the Cross River State House of Assembly, Elvet Ayambem, was impeached on Wednesday over alleged financial misappropriation. The impeachment of Ayambem, which resulted in a free-for-all fight in the hallowed chambers of the House over the mace, the symbol of authority of the House, brought the proceedings to an abrupt end as 17 out of a 25-member assembly impeached the former Speaker. The motion for Ayambem's impeachment was moved by Efiome Karika, representing Calabar South 1 state constituency, and seconded by Honorable Omang Charles Omang, representing Bekwara State constituency, with 17 of the 25 members voting for his impeachment. Over 20 out of the 25 members of the Assembly had on Tuesday signed up for his impeachment. Meanwhile, the Speaker described the report of his impeachment as false, saying that he remains the Speaker. A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the embattled Speaker, Machi Okache, said what happened during Wednesday's plenary when a member, Efiome Karika, allegedly disrupted the session by inviting hoodlums to enter the chamber was a ridiculous charade and unconstitutional. He said the House Assembly was not aware of the impeachment notice being served to anyone before the frivolous act as witnessed at the chambers. The Peter Obi media team has debunked reports suggesting that the Labour Party's presidential candidate in the 2023 general election, Peter Obi, has endorsed the party's national chairman, Julius Abure. In a statement signed by Obi's chief spokesman, Dr. Tanko Yunusa, in Abuja on Wednesday, the team said Obi's visit to the party's national headquarters and his meeting with Abure on Tuesday were part of efforts to reconcile feuding leaders. Yunusa said Obi paid similar visits to the leadership of a political arm of the Nigeria Labour Congress and a trade union congress on Wednesday, and that the former Anambra State governor had repeatedly maintained that his interest was to carry everybody along into one strong family and not to endorse anyone's interest. He said Obi made it clear at the meeting that the party needed to reconcile all various positions in a peaceful atmosphere to have a united house that should be all-inclusive. The presidential candidate had on Tuesday joined a crowd of party faithful in the Federal Capital Territory to pay a solidarity visit at the party's national headquarters, during which he also endorsed the newly elected National Working Committee of Labour Party led by Abure. Judicial proceedings in Anambra State are at a standstill following a 7-day total boycott of appearances in court by all lawyers in the state. This is in protest over the recent resurgence of insecurity and targeted attacks on members of the bar and the bench. The Secretary of the Idemili branch of the Nigeria Bar Association, Chukwubi Kim Azoro, was kidnapped and still in the hands of his abductors, while the Vice Chairman of NBA Ihiala branch and Principal State Counsel Awa P. Awa was gruesomely murdered by unidentified gunmen at Okija on Sunday, 19th May 2024. A statement signed by IC Nsofo, Chairman, Committee of Chairmen and Secretaries on behalf of NBA branches in Anambra State, said the safety of the lawyers are no longer guaranteed. Signature TV News correspondent in Oka, Ndu Okpaleze, who was at the State Judiciary Headquarters in Oka on Wednesday, reports that the boycott was total as all the courtrooms were empty and lawyers nowhere to be found. The same situation played out at the premises of the Federal High Court, Oka, opposite the Federal Secretariat, as well as the Federal Court of Appeal beside the Central Police Station, Awka. A federal high court in Abuja, presided over by Justice James Omotosho, has granted permission to impeach Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shaibu, to join the Speaker of the State Assembly in his suit challenging his impeachment before the court. The former Deputy Governor also received the approval of the court to join his successor as a defendant in the suit. Delivering ruling on Wednesday in a motion and notice filed by Shaibu, Justice Omotosho agreed with his counsel, Ayotunde Ogunleye, that both the Speaker and the new Deputy Governor are necessary parties in the suit. The judge held that under Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution, the name of a Speaker features prominently in the impeachment process and that it must be brought to court for order that would be made to legally bind on them. The court also granted permission to the former Deputy Governor to amend his originating summons in the suit to reflect the name of the Speaker and the Deputy Governor as 9th and 10th defendants in the case. Enugu legislators called for stoppage of the demolition of structures, and NGO gives integrity awards to 40 persons. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back. 3 legislators from the Nsukka senatorial zone have urged the Enugu State Governor, Peter Obi, to suspend the planned demolition of the Ogige Market and Motor Park at Nsukka. This follows a 72-hour demolition notice issued to shop owners by the Enugu State Government. The appeal is contained in a statement jointly signed by the senator representing the Enugu North Senatorial District, Senator Oke Ezie, the member representing the Nsukka Igweze South Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Chidi Mark Obeta, and Malaki Onyechi, representing the Nsukka West at the State Assembly. The lawmakers also urged the governor to consider compensating the affected traders and shop owners and relocating them to alternative market space and parks, stating that the over 10,000 traders, mostly women and youths, would face untold hardship as a result of the exercise. In a related development, the Enugu State governorship candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 elections, Chijioke Edoga, has described as scary and unconstitutional the gale of demolitions recently carried out by the Enugu State government in some parts of the state. Edoga will accuse the state government of disobeying court orders and usurping the constitutional powers of local government areas, said demolishing people's places of business without plans for alternatives would increase the suffering of the people. Edoga also lamented the destruction of a private polytechnic belonging to a charismatic preacher and founder of Madonna University, Reverend Father Emmanuel Ede, expressing dismay that the government went to demolish the institution of higher learning in defiance of an order of the court. As part of its mandate to reduce corruption in Nigeria, a non-governmental organization, the Lux Terra Leadership Foundation, has honored 48 models of integrity. The recipients of the award, selected from across the country for demonstrating the virtue of integrity in both the private and public sectors, were presented with the awards in Abuja on Tuesday. Correspondent Nasiru Usman covered the event for Signature TV.
Corruption is a social pandemic which has eaten deep into the fabric of the Nigerian society. This has earned the country the unenviable position as one of the most corrupt nations in the world. Corruption has been fingered as the major factor fueling the level of poverty, underdevelopment, crime, terrorism, banditry, and the present level of insecurity in the country. It is to help address this challenge that the Lux Terra Leadership Foundation decided to honor these people as model of integrity as its ambassadors who will help drive the crusade for a better Nigeria. In his remarks, the executive director of the foundation, Father George Ehusene, said the award presentation was meant to inculcate good values in members of the society, especially the younger generation. Ehusani said the models, who are mostly youths, are sources of inspiration and hope that Nigeria will be liberated from the shackles of corruption. The deputy director of the MacArthur Foundation in Nigeria, Dr. Amina Salihu, thanked the NGO for partnering with the foundation in advocating for accountability and integrity in the society. Amina said MacArthur remains committed to championing and supporting efforts to combat corruption across all sectors.
Nigeria continues to nurture, has a lot of those people, whether in education or in the corporations or in government. We have here policemen, we have civil servants, we have teachers, we have private people, farmers, we have even a vulcanizer among them. People who are in the trades, who struggle in the life they live every day, both private and professional. They try to live by the tenets of integrity.
You've all shown integrity, not because Luke Stera was looking at you, but people you didn't even know were looking at you, My final word, Father, is that these 48 individual strong Nigerians actually affirm your selection process. I've sat here and I've looked at every row, and there's someone that I know. And I felt extremely proud because I saw some of the faces I hadn't seen in a while, so I went back to look, and then I saw the name. And on every row, there's someone whose story with me connects for more than 10, 20, 30 years. And so, there's consistency in the room.
The anti-graft agencies, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), and Independent Corrupt Practices and other related offenses lauded the foundation for honoring the individuals. They urged the younger generation not to be influenced to deviate from good moral values.
You have a responsibility leaving this hall this morning to continue to do what you have been doing and inspire the next generation to imbibe the virtues that have given you this recognition. That is the message I have for you from the EFCC. I wish you the best of luck and believe that you continue to do what is right wherever you find yourself.
But please, I want to beg you in the name of Almighty God, please do not drop the ball. What made Lostera Foundation to find you out as models of integrity, please continue to do it.
The recipient of the award thanked the foundation for honoring them and acknowledging their resolve not to be involved in corrupt practices.
With the kind of people I saw here today, Justice Akas, for what he did at the Supreme Court Justice, and all the very eminent personalities I have seen here today, it is my hope that the young ones will be able to see that in life, that corruption does not pay, that integrity is very important, that credibility is very important, because the foundation of any society that want to make progress must be based on integrity.
But today, Luke Stera Leadership Foundation is honoring people with integrity, people with track record, and people that have done and impacted society over the years consistently. And for me, as the youngest among them, it is really encouraging to say that, you know, we're doing this and we thought no one is looking. But what this also says, to whom much is given, much is expected. So this means that we would do much more, and we would carry that legacy around integrity, around honesty, and hopefully change Nigeria and take her to greater heights.
In life, try to live by the rules and not to cut corners. It is our wanting to cut corners that has brought us to this hopeless, seemingly hopeless situation.
But I want to assure very young people, particularly because for us, the older generation, we've all gone, but for the upcoming people, young people, let them know that integrity pays.
I'm giving Nigeria youth advice. Integrity pays. No matter the situation of Nigeria, that Nigeria is not appreciate integrity, but they will focus attention to make their aim to be integrity.
All of us, they come, work they come. Where they meet me, say, how much did they sell this tube, sell the tire? I will tell them truth. They say, see, see how much they sell, then you go do another person, meet another person. Another person can hire money for them. They'll get me back, then give me the money. I'll go buy them. Say, I feel buy. I say, yes, I feel buy. If I then give me money, go buy, confess, and them be happy with me.
The Luxterra leadership, in partnership with the MacArthur Foundation, has since 2018 undertaken a wide range of programs targeted at training religious and community leaders, as well as youths, on the virtues of integrity and sound moral values. From Abuja, Nasiru Usman for Signature TV News.
The Anambra State Police Command says it has arrested a most wanted cultist and notorious armed robber who has been operating interstate border crime in Ogbaru, Anambra, and Asaba Delta states. A statement signed by the Anambra State Police Public Relations Officer Tochukwu Ikenga said the 18-year-old boy, Anichebe Akachukwu, Elias Star B, was arrested at Uruago Village, Oba, in the Idemili South local government area. Ikenga said the suspect was rounded up where he was receiving treatment in a hideout following a bullet wound he sustained during an encounter with police operatives in Asaba, and that he has confessed that he is the leader of Viking secret cult confraternity and an armed gang. The police also recovered a white Porsche Cayenne Jeep with registration number AGL 60HJ, Lagos, suspected to be operational vehicle of criminals operating around Okija and Ihiala. According to the statement, police operatives found a bag in the vehicle and discovered 27 pieces of live ammunition, 3 live cartridges, 1 torchlight, charms, and other incriminating items. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police, Obono Itam, has charged the operatives to sustain the tempo and direct continuous onslaught to weed out all criminal elements in the state. The number of females admitted into the Nigerian Correctional Center increased by 4.82% in 2022, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, NBS. This is contained in the NBS Statistical Report on Women and Men in Nigeria 2022, released in Abuja on Wednesday. The report showed that in 2020, the percentage of females admitted into the Nigerian Correctional Center stood at 4.90%, then dropped to 4.48% in 2021 and increased to 4.82% in 2022. The report further indicated that stealing was the most prevalent offense committed by both men and women, while there was a decline in the crime of bank fraud in the period under review. The divisional police officer of New Mate in Mate local government area of Borno State has been killed by members of Islamic State of West Africa province, ISWAP. Confirming the death on Wednesday, the spokesman of the Borno State Police Command, Nahum Kenneth, said the command is still gathering details of the attack. However, a military personnel serving in the area disclosed that the terrorists targeted one of the residents of a community who got hit and ran to the police station for protection. The military personnel said the terrorists got into the town on foot without their usual motorcycles and vehicles. New Mate, which is 93 kilometers from Maiduguri at the fringes of the Lake Chad region, was initially overrun by the terrorists but was rebuilt by the Borno State government under the administration of Governor Babagana Zulum. ISWAP and rival group Boko Haram still launch sporadic ambushes and convoys from their hideouts and plant landmines along the highway. EU to use frozen Russian assets for Ukraine's war. We also have some entertainment and sports news. Join us after this break. Chad's transitional Prime Minister, Success Masra, has announced the resignation of his government on Wednesday. The resignation, which paves the way for the formation of a new government, came a day before the swearing-in ceremony of interim President Mahamat Idris Deby Itno, who was declared winner of the May 6 presidential election. Masra came second with 18.5% of the votes. Masra was appointed Prime Minister of the Central African country in January. European Union member states have agreed to use proceeds from the frozen assets of the Central Bank of Russia to support Ukraine's military efforts in the ongoing war with Russia. Under the agreement, 90% of the profits or interest from these assets will be allocated to the European Peace Facility, an EU-run fund providing military aid for Ukraine, while the remaining 10% will be used for bolstering Ukraine's defense industry capacities and reconstruction needs. Russia has repeatedly criticized the asset seizure measures proposed by the US and other Western countries. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said that the confiscation of Russian assets by the West in any form is viewed as theft and that it will take reciprocal measures in response to this. According to data from the Council, around 260 billion euros, $282 billion in the Russian bank have been immobilized in securities and cash across the jurisdiction of the G7 partners. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei led prayers for late President Ebrahim Raisi on Wednesday as huge crowds thronged the capital Tehran for his funeral procession. Flanked by top officials, Khamenei said prayers over the coffins of the 8 people that died from Sunday's helicopter crash, who also included Foreign Minister Hossein Ami-Abdollahian. A sea of mourners filled the open space around Tehran University, where the prayers were held before the funeral procession moved on to Engelab and Azadi squares. State television said that Raisi, who had been widely seen as Khamenei's most likely successor as Supreme Leader, received a million-fold farewell from the people of Tehran. Visiting Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani said the world has lost a prominent personality, describing that late president was a very good brother. The leader of the Palestinian militant group Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, and the deputy leader of the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah, Naim Qassem, joined the procession. In the capital, huge banners have gone up, hailing the late president as a martyr of service, while others bade farewell to a man they described as a servant of a disadvantage. Tehran residents received phone messages urging them to join the funeral procession. Raisi's helicopter crashed into fog-shrouded mountainside in northwestern Iran on Sunday as he headed back to the city of Tabriz after attending a ceremony on the border with Azerbaijan. Nollywood actor Yul Edochie has broken his silence on why he did not attend the burial of his late colleague, Junior Pope. Edochie had attributed the development to backstabbing by the late movie producer. The self-acclaimed pastor took to his social media page on Tuesday, recounting his lack of involvement in the burial ceremony of a late actor, saying that he betrayed him multiple times. He noted that he needed to explain himself because people were curious about his absence at the burial, despite admitting that the late Pope was like a brother to him. Although he did not provide details about what had transpired between them, he promised to provide more information about how he had betrayed him. Controversial musician Habib Okikiola, popularly known as Portable, has declared himself police ambassador a few days after causing a stir while evading arrest by police officers. Portable made this known in a post on his Instagram page, where he shared photos of himself with his father and other high-ranking officers in the Lagos police headquarters. He regained his freedom the following day after being arrested for incurring a debt on a Mercedes-Benz GLE he bought from a car dealer in Lagos. The singer further went to his social page to explain what transpired between him and the car dealer, alleging that he had spent more than required on the vehicle because it was faulty. Sports now. Inter Milan were taken over by US fund Oaktree on Wednesday after the Serie A champions' outgoing owners, Suning, missed a deadline to repay a debt worth hundreds of millions of euros. In a statement, Oaktree announced that it assumed control of Inter after the non-repayment of a 3-year loan for Inter Milan's holding companies that matured on 21st May 2024, with a total outstanding balance of approximately 395 million euros, or $428 million. Suning borrowed €275 million at over 12% interest 3 years ago to pay staff and players as the COVID-19 pandemic ravaged the finances of clubs across Europe, putting up their controlling stake in the club as collateral. Inter became a powerful force at home and abroad after Suning acquired the club in 2016 with 7 trophies, including 2 Serie A titles and 2 European finals. Manchester City coach Pep Guardiola has been named Premier League Manager of the Year after he guided the team to an unprecedented 4th successful title. The Spanish coach has won the award 4 times since joining the club in 2016. With 6 league titles to his name, he is now the 2nd most successful manager in the history of English football. Guardiola solved competition from Arsenal's Mikel Arteta, Aston Villa's Unai Emery, Bournemouth's Andoni Iraola, and Liverpool's Jurgen Klopp. That's the news this hour. I am Barikumo Ado. Thanks for watching.